Hello, hello. This is Rachel from A Loving Place, and I'm so excited today because I had to get my friend Susyn Reeve on here to talk about her new cards, love notes to myself. And I completely support these because they embody everything we need right now. And I just want to jump in and have Susyn talk a little bit about herself and what made her design these amazing cards. Susyn.
I am so thrilled. Thank you so much, Rachel. I've got to start with something very, very long ago. When I was 14 years old, I wrote in my journal, what would the world be like if everybody loved themselves? And what I know about that day is that I was probably annoyed with my mother, who was actually quite loving, but my friends and I complained about our mothers constantly. I probably thought that I was too fat, and I was actually very skinny. And I was probably disappointed because some boy I liked didn't pay attention to me. But I wrote that down, and decades later, going through my journals, I found that. And what I know to be true from my personal life and from working with tens of thousands of people, doing coaching, doing leading groups, is that our relationship with ourself forms the blueprint for all the relationships in our life. So, a little bit about why these cards are called love notes to myself. I started doing affirmations about 30 years ago, and they were so powerful for me. Short statements. I am beautiful. I am enough. I love myself. I am offering uh, work that nourishes me and supports the people who I serve. And I would focus on them. I'd write them in my journal 10 times in the morning, 10 times at night. I'd read them. At times, I would put a reminder on my phone. So every hour I'd get a beep and I'd focus on the particular affirmation. And those things really changed my life. And after a while, the word affirmation became flat for me. So I changed the word to daily power statements. I liked the power of that. There was a lot of energy in that. And then after about 5 years, something about that didn't work for me. And what popped into my mind is love notes to myself. I know how I feel when somebody sends me a love note. And I thought, since my relationship with myself is so crucial in terms of how my other relationships unfold, that I better start each day loving myself. And that's what I do.
Oh, I absolutely love that. And it goes along with what my journey has led me to understand is that until I treat myself a certain way, I'm not going to get that reflected back to me.
Absolutely. And many of us who have a deep yearning for loving relationships in our life. That can be with another person, that could be with the work that we're doing in the world, it could be with our parents who we may have felt were constantly judging us. Is that some of us, particularly women, have a really difficult time receiving the love. Somebody does something nice for us, and then we have a reason in our mind, well, it's too late. Why did you wait to tell me today? Why didn't you tell me last week? Or if you do a loving kindness act for me, I might begin to think, well, how do I have to pay you back? Instead of simply being open to receiving. And so the act of using these, I have to say, are beautiful cards. I'm just taking mine out of the box right now. And one of the things I like about them is that they're gold on the side. But I'm just going to It's what they look like. They're actually different colors. This first one says, I am a beacon of light. And on the other side, sometimes there's an action, sometimes there's a reflection, but this action is shine your light today with love, kindness, and compassion. And what I don't have written on that, which goes through my mind when I see the actions, starting with myself.
Oh, I love that addition. And one of the things I do want to point out is there is a QR code on the back of one of the cards in here so that people can go in more in depth in their own journal for it. And I love that because it really makes it sink in. It helps us make it our own by doing that, not just having a card on the outside, but bringing it into the inside. So I love that you have that in there. And I just want to go back for 1 second because this box is everything. So it does make the perfect gift for anybody looking for gifts for the summer and for Christmas and stuff. Uh, this opens up like this, gorgeous, right? Beautiful messages all around, and then it opens up to I am love. And that's the beginning of it all. So it is the perfect box. It's the perfect gift, and it's the perfect thing that's beautiful to have on our own nightstands. So I'm so obsessed with these. And if anybody knows me, I'm very into the garden and inner gardens. So this goes right along with it with all the beautiful pictures and flowers are gorgeous. I mean, look at these. They're absolutely, ooh, we're gorgeous. So, I'm so grateful you made these cards.
I am so grateful I made these cards. And, what was important? It took a long time to make them. The affirmations were the easiest part for me. I'm just going to hold up another one right now, a different color. I am generous. I worked with a designer who's become a dear friend, Lauren Devine, and what I we actually spent months designing them because I knew I had to love everything about them. And there have been many iterations of them, but I have to say that when I first got this box and held it in my hand, and it feels satiny, and just the idea of here are love notes to me and for me. I have to say something else that I've done with them is I have left a card in a hotel room where I've stayed, just randomly left one. I've left one in a bathroom at a movie theater, someplace where it was dry near the sink. Uh, and I have brought them to dinner parties and put them on on a table that's been set. I put them under the plate. And because they're messages for everyone, whether or not someone takes their card with them is secondary. It's simply seeing message is powerful. So I'm randomly going to just open the deck right now. I am a mighty expression of love. What does it say on the back? Use today's love note as a journal prompt and write for at least 5 minutes. It may not be clear enough to see, but I read it exactly. And so there's an action because, as important as it is to read it and particularly read it aloud, ALOUD and ALLOWED, it's allowed for us to believe these about ourselves. The action of writing, getting more of our senses involved, seeing the words, moving our hand physically, and it's different than typing it out. Hearing the affirmation in our head, saying it aloud gets more of us involved in it. And I'm going to share a very brief example of someone who's in a group, a weekly group that I lead. And she shared with us a few months ago that she never thought she was beautiful. And she's a very, very, very beautiful woman. And so we were talking about affirmations, and there is an affirmation card in here, I am beautiful. And she decided that every morning and every time she passed a mirror, she was going to say aloud, I'm beautiful. That turned into, hello, beautiful. And as weeks went by, she shared her experience in the group, and other people started using it. I mean, somebody said, well, I don't know if I can say that yet, but I'll say my soul is beautiful. And now it comes up every so often as an example of a practice. She chose that one affirmation for months, which now she continues to say whenever she sees herself in the mirror. And when she says the words, she breaks out into a sparkling smile. So it's the action combined with the message that makes the difference.
I just have to say, I pulled a card today and it's this one here. And it says, I ask for and receive help as an act of self-love. That's the front. The back is a quote. Asking for help is never a sign of weakness. It's one of the bravest things you can do. Lily Collins. I really needed this. I really needed this today, especially. And it just made me think of all the people right now who are struggling to ask for help. And this is why your deck is so important. Because when you shuffle and we put our energy into the shuffle, we're going to get what we need. The message is going to come up of what we need. And this is an important message for now, too. So I'm very grateful.
Absolutely. I mean, we're living at a time in history that is stressful, is frightening, is scary. And, I ask myself on a regular basis, how can I best support a more loving world, more acceptance in our world? And it starts with accepting myself and believing that in the presence of love, magic happens. That in the presence of love, fear, overwhelm, anxiety dissolves. And so when we nourish ourselves with being mighty expressions of love in the world, we are exhaling an energy to the collective consciousness that does make a difference.
Ah, and it's so true. I am so grateful to have you come on today for a brief time. I can't wait to post this. I can't wait to get clips going so that more people can learn about your cards and get their own. And at the end of the video, I will put a link to where to get them. And they are available on Amazon. So nice and easy for everyone. And just, I'm so grateful. And real quick before we wrap up, I just want to say Susyn has multiple books out that also help with this wholehearted living, living from a loving place. You want to tell us a little bit about the books you have available?
Sure. So it's a little hard to see them now. So I'm just going to grab one. The Inspired Life, Unleashing Your Mind's Capacity for Joy. This has to do with what our beliefs are. And what are beliefs? Thoughts that we've thought so many times that they're charged with emotional energy. The next one is the wholehearted life. Big changes and greater happiness week by week with 365 days of exercises and 52 different areas of focus. And the next one is called heart healing, the power of forgiveness to heal a broken heart. And
Ah,
I still pick them up sometimes when I need a reminder and am reminded, whoa, I knew this then. Oh, this is great.
yes, we all need the reminders because we are all human and slip into our humanness for sure.
Thank you, Rachel. You have been a supporter of this project since its inception. Thank you for your continued support. I
Well,
am so grateful.
I'm so grateful that we could do this, we could be here, and that we can show these to people so that they can get their own. Thank you. Until next time, live from a loving place.